I wanted to talk to you about the movie that is, I don't know if it's still in theaters or not, but I'm sure it'll be streaming soon. The movie Stop Making Sense by Talking Heads. I just wanted to talk about really my personal experience seeing it the very first time in the 1980s, and just about the show itself. I've been kind of waiting for this to come in through my library because I didn't own a copy, and I kind of wanted it just to show. So I don't even know where to begin. I was in 1985. I'm going to guess it was late 85. I was working in Royal Oak, Michigan at the Main Theater. And I actually looked it up, the Main Theater, to see if it's still in existence. And I did find this picture of the Main Theater. And I remember this so clearly, like driving into the parking lot, parking here, or actually in the beginning having my mom drop me off and then going in. And I remember I must have been just under age, like 15, and yeah, I think you had to be 16, but I was 15, so I had to have my mother's permission. And I remember I had the interview, and then the owner called to tell me I had the job, and my mom answered, and she said she can only work there if it does not interfere with her school, and she cannot work during school hours. And like gave them a whole I was so embarrassed, but she was right. But anyway, so I worked there, and it was a good job. I mean, the boss was kind of odd and mean, to be honest, sometimes. But I met friends there who were unlike people I knew from school. They were just different, fun, arty. But anyway, then the Main Theater now looks like it got torn down. It's so sad. But while I was working there, they had a film festival. And I don't even remember now. It was just like arty films. Like I feel like during that time I saw The Graduate, which wouldn't have been new. That would have been old. And Harold and Maude and A Clockwork Orange. And there was one with like Lisa Bonet, I feel like, as a, like, and there was voodoo involved. I can't remember that one. I want to say it was The Serpent and the Rainbow, but I'm not sure that's right. If anybody knows what I'm thinking of, I swear it was Lisa Bonet. Anyway, what else was there during that time? I can't remember, but this musical was coming. And to be honest, I think at that time, I could be wrong on the time, but I feel like the song on the radio was Burning Down the House. So I knew the song Burning Down the House, and I was like, oh, yeah. And I don't know if I'd seen pictures of the big suit or what, but I had a white, I went out and bought, or maybe it was my mom's, I don't know, but a white blazer like this. In the 80s, they had big shoulder pads, but this one had like really big shoulder pads. And so I remember wearing that with a black mini skirt and like a red and white striped top. And the people who worked at the theater were working, so they couldn't go. So I brought high school friends. And I remember being out in the parking lot beforehand, like pre-game, whatever. And then we went in to see it, and they like bailed. Like all my high school friends just thought it was weird and didn't like it. And I couldn't understand it because I thought it was like so awesome and changed the way I looked at music and film. I don't know, I just loved it so much. So it was a concert that the Talking Heads, not the talk, it's actually Talking Heads, um, I don't remember where it was. Maybe it was in Los Angeles or, oh no. I don't know if they say. But, and I think Jonathan Demme, he was the director. And he filmed it over 2 nights. So one night, if I remember correctly, one night he filmed from far off. And one night he filmed all the close-up shots. And spliced them together to make this concert film. And in my opinion, it's the best concert film. Now, The Last Waltz is also a great concert movie, but I would say that one is the band. It's the last night the band played a concert, and they brought on like Neil Young and Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell and all these people. But it was filmed in one night, and then backstage commentary. So it's a little different. This is a film like they had a guy working, and I don't know if the guy was friends with David Byrne or Jonathan Demme, but he did like lighting. So he did all this kind of cool stuff with lighting, and it just feels like a film, you know, and the energy of it is super high, and the whole thing's tight. It's like an hour and I don't know, hour and this thing tells me nothing. Anyway, it's not very long. It's like you almost can't believe it's over when it ends. You're like, wait, encore, you know, but it's over. So I took my son, who's 20 something, 22 years old, just when it was in theaters just now. And we don't have an IMAX theater. I wish we did. We don't. We had to see it in a regular theater. But I was a little nervous, to be honest, that like he wouldn't love it as much as I do. And so I was kind of quiet on how much I actually loved it. Because I've seen it a few times since I originally saw it streaming. But seeing it in the movie theater, oh my gosh, guys, it was so good. And my son walked out of there, and I was like holding my breath to hear what he'd say. And he was like, that was awesome. It was so good. He didn't say awesome. He probably said dope. But he loved it. So that was great. I was very excited. Let's see. So I brought up some photos here. Let me see. So this is David Byrne at the time of Stop Making Sense. And he's like skinny and kind of strange and super, kinetic energy, jittery, like so much energy. And I watched American Utopia, which David Byrne put out. I think it's on HBO, maybe 2 years ago. And it's great. So I really enjoyed that. And then I saw him show up on I think it was the Grammy Awards with Sia. And it was kind of weird. Like, he's got an energy that didn't quite work right. And so then after that, I saw on Twitter people going, who is this old guy? And blah, blah, blah. And it like broke my heart because people don't know like how cool he is. He's so cool. And I know all about how maybe he wasn't cool to Tina and Chris and what, but I think he's probably a little, different. And so he doesn't, think the same way. But anyway, so this is David Byrne, and that's Tina. And something I kind of like about Tina, she just looks like a regular person, I mean, they all kind of do, but she especially just looks regular, but she's like super cool and talented, and she plays bass, but she's also in the band Tom Tom Club, which she started with her husband, who's a drummer, Chris. And I actually think Chris and Tina started working with more R&B people. Like, here's Chris. Hold on. I don't have a picture of the other keyboardist, but I think Chris and Tina with Tom Tom Club started working with like Alex Weir and Steve Scales and Lynn Mabry and Edna Holt, and then David Byrne saw that and was like, yeah, let's bring them on for Stop Making Sense. So like Tom Tom Club was doing a sideshow, not a sideshow, but had like a side band. That was their side band without David Byrne. And then later David Byrne went solo without them. And then this guy is Jerry Harrison. And I think David brought him on to play guitar. These pictures are blurry. But anyway, and here he is with this big pants that go with big suit. So, yeah, I was listening to a podcast called, oh shoot, I can't think of the name of the podcast. It's not top of the charts, but it's something like that. Anyway, he was talking about CBGBs. Which I'm trying to think, because something interesting about that. He said this, and I knew this, but I'd forgotten it. That CBGBs stands for Country, Blues, and Bluegrass. And it was a club in New York City that the guy who owned it was going to make it a country, blues, and bluegrass club. But that kind of didn't work out, and so they ended up doing punk. And that's, why you've heard of it, because Sex Pistols and the Ramones and Talking Heads and Blondie, everybody was playing there. Why'd I bring that up? I don't remember. Anyway, so so here's the set list for this concert. Psycho Killer. Okay, it opens with David Byrne singing Psycho Killer. It's awesome. He walks out with just a boombox and sets it down and starts singing Psycho Killer. And to be honest, my memory of this was a little different than what it actually was in the movie. But because I remembered that he was staying there and then they slowly roll out all the set. But I'm not sure that's actually what happened now that I think about it. Anyway, and then they play Heaven. Oh, it's a great song. And Tina comes out, and Tina and David are doing Heaven. And then I think that's when they roll the drummer out. And so they play Found a Job, Slippery People, Burning Down the House, Life During Wartime, Making Flippy Floppy, Swamp, What a Day That Was, Naive Melody, This Must Be the Place. It's a great one. Once in a Lifetime, which is the one he, does the thing like that, which in my memory, he did it 100 times this, but he does it once. And then they go backwards. It's really cool. Genius of Love is Tom Tom Club. And when you see it in the movie, you're like, okay, Chris France, you can stop screaming. Because he says he's kind of cheesy. But the tune, when you hear it, you'll be like, oh, I know that tune. It's like, doo-doo, doo-doo. And I saw it when I was watching NFL football the other day. It came on, that tune. I was like, oh, that's Genius of Love. But probably it's been sampled a gazillion times. Literally a gazillion. But probably one of the more famous was Mariah Carey's song Fantasy. If you ever listen to that song, she samples Genius of Love. Anyway, and then they come back and they do, and during Genius of Love, David Byrne leaves, and he comes back with his big suit, and that's when they sing Girlfriend is Better, Take Me to the River, which is awesome. It's like an old gospel song, and David Byrne did it, and I think from what I remember from podcast, Brian Eno told him he should do that, and David Byrne's like, I don't know, but then he did, and that's a really good song. Cross-Eyed and Painless. And then they say on this DVD, bonus track, Cities and Big Business. I don't know. I haven't watched this yet. And this DVD also says it has digitally remixed and remastered, 3 audio mixes, widescreen, bonus track, Cities, Big Business, Zimbra, audio commentary by all 4 band members and director Jonathan Demme. I'm going to have to watch that. Storyboard to film comparisons. Original promotional trailer. David Byrne interviews David Byrne. Promotional clip. Full motion menu and other features. So I noticed on here it looks like they have the storyboard they're kind of showing you here. And I thought that's interesting because nothing was accidental. They had storyboarded exactly where people would be and what it's going to look like. It sounds to me, look, if you look at the storyboard of how they're positioned and how they are here, this is a film in the sense that a director directed it. I think, you know what I mean? It's not just like they're doing a concert and I'm filming it. I don't know, it's great. There is a scene where like David Byrne in the beginning, he just starts running around the stage and I don't know, it's not like he's dancing, he's not doing it, but it's so full of like energy and excitement and joy. I just love it. Anyway, oh yeah, whoops. There's Tina. Uh-oh. I think my phone battery's dying, which is confusing because I thought I had plugged in. Nope. Oh, all right. Well, I'll have to close this up, guys, because I'm running out of phone. But my recommendation, go see Stop Making Sense, or if it's not in theaters anymore, find it streaming or rent it. It's so good. It's such fun. And I hope you love it. And if you do, let me know. Because I just think, I don't know. I know some people don't. Like, obviously, my friends in high school did not love it. Talking Heads, not for everybody. I found one of my old cassette tapes too. Naked. This is a good one.